was able to turn his life around and is now a successful entrepreneur. So this is the book that's really raised his profile in America. It's been turned into a play, a documentary, and I think now you said it's been made into a film now.
Yes, it's a stage play and documentary.
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's his first book, The Courage to Believe. So we had a youth session yesterday at Marcus Garvey Library where this book was featured. And again on Saturday we have another youth session, Saturday afternoon, where this book is featured as part of the Kings and Queens book tour. But we are here for you to identify your queen type. So, do I need to say anything more about Kevin before I hand you over?
Let them know how great of a guy I am. Stuff like that.
Well, I thought I'd leave that to you for them to find out because they're going to be with you for the next 3 hours. So by the end of the workshop, they'll be telling me what a great guy you are, I'm sure.
It's a blessing.
So just got to pop out and get some paper for this so he can do his write-up because we don't have the facility to hook this up to a projector, is that right?
Yes, we need it. We need a projector.
Yeah, so I'm going to just go and get some paper for the flip chart.
Oh, okay.
And in the meantime, maybe you can just introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about, why you're here. Not anything elaborate, just a minute, just your name so we can familiarise ourselves with each other. I know there's a couple more people going to be coming, but let's just make a start. And then...
That's definitely. You know what? They're going to need some paper. Does everyone have paper?
Right. I'll get someone out. I'll get someone out. So whilst I'm out, has everybody got a pen, or do I need to get some pens as well? You've got a notebook, or do you mean they have to have paper to hand?
I mean, no. Some things you can write down some notes.
I've got a notebook, but I can't do
he's got paper. You can share some paper, can't you?
No. You're going to be charged.
That big pad of paper he's got there.
I was saying you're an entrepreneur, right? So how much paper?
I just bought this in Italy and I'm sharing it in half, sorry.
No.
And I even have my name stamped in, I have my name stamped into the level up.
Yeah.
That's hot.
I
That was
use
lovely.
journals like that.
Yeah, that's
The name
nice.
stamped into the level.
Oh.
Big time. Okay.
It's okay, yeah.
This is my notes from Saturday.
I decided I wasn't playing that.
It hasn't got
Yeah,
no name
so, yeah.
stamped in
It's
it.
very
No, so
costly.
you're
I don't know how much that's worth. Okay, look, it's...
These are my notes from the other day.
Thank you.
I don't like
What, this one?
This name.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
So while she does that, I guess we can start introducing each other. My name is Kevin, King Kevin Dorival, and love to hear your names. Some of you already know your names, but it's good to introduce yourselves, get comfortable, pick your feet up, grab some tea, do how Londoners do it. Londoners do it.
Tea,
I'm going to get a cup of tea and a slice of cake on the way back down.
Ladies first.
Okay, I am Queen Jenny with an I. Jennifer minus the FER, so Jenny with an I.
Awesome.
I specialise in pelvic floor health and happiness. I've been doing that for over 20 years. I have my own business development and sensory program. I am driven, and I tend to meet kings that are not so driven, not so active, and not so spiritual.
Oops, sorry.
So I want to really kind of discern which type of queen I am, and what type of king would best suit me.
I'm trying to think where I can put this actually. I'm going to put it up here. So I don't want to cramp up the space.
That's fine.
With this.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Okay. Right, so my name's Roxanne. I'm from South East London. I'm an educational psychologist, that is a job. In terms of why I came, to be honest with just curiosity, would it be an interesting workshop to come to? Because I only heard about it a couple of days ago. I just thought I'd come along and find out a bit more. That's it really.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Sai. It's funny, I've been calling myself Sister Queen for
quite some time now, and I embrace calling others Sister King and Brother King. So that didn't come from anywhere but from within. But then I stopped to a point saying Sister Queen because, like what was said on Sunday, not everybody's got that potential yet.
Sorry.
So okay, we'll just leave that now. I'm also an actress, a model, a events coordinator, and manager artist. And my heartbeat is to do acting full time.
Well, that's awesome. Is that everybody? I guess it is. Oh, got a king left.
My name's Kwabenafo.
Sorry?
Kwabenafo.
Kwabenafo.
Yeah, Kwabenafo.
Where's the name from?
Akan. It's an Akan name. I've changed my name from part of my journey has been my spiritual journey has been moving away from the system in all of its kind of guises. So both myself and my mother, we've changed our first names and the family name. So my spiritual growth continues. As you already know, I'm here because I'm checking a few things out, doing some reflecting. I'm a counsellor by nature, and I'm developing my counselling business, which is nature counselling. It's been an uphill struggle for various reasons of which I'm not quite sure I understand, but I've decided to look back at me in terms of where I'm at, what I'm doing, what energies I'm putting out, etc. and so forth. That's me.
What's a nature counsellor?
Well, fundamentally I do counselling, okay, so that would be a one-to-one situation. But because of the experiences that I have, I prefer to take individuals out into nature, whereby we use nature to look at issues and to find answers to those problems. So my background is kind of person-centred. So it's not CBT whereby I would tell you X, Y, and Z, and it's not something I believe in either. So we use nature as a means to assess where you are in your life and the difficulties and the changes that you make at your pace, but using nature to help you understand.
You need a pen.
No, I've got one. I was trying to find it in my bag. Somewhere at the
Has
bottom.
everybody got a pen? Everybody's introduced themselves?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to shoot out at the back soon.
Thank you. First of all, thank you all for coming today. I mean, it's definitely a blessing to have you all spend your time, your afternoon here with me. How many of you all called in from work today, or you just have your own schedule?
Just took half a day off.
On schedule?
On schedule.
On schedule? Wow. Some ballers. You too?
Half a day.
Half a day? All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, as Queen Cezanne mentioned, I'm so thankful that she started this Kings and Queen book tour, to be honest with you, because I mean, it's a blessing how everything just worked its way to get me here today. Because I had to meet someone named Candace. Well, I'd never met her. Still haven't met her. But, she supported my chess program back in the States. I have a chess program called C2B Chess Club Mentoring Program, where we help the youth play chess so they can understand how to strategize in life and make plans instead of having the criminal justice system plan their life, you know? So that's the whole idea behind the whole thing. And so this lady named Candace Shimmery, she's an author as well. She donated some of her books to my program. And then from there, she connected me with Queen Cezanne. And when Cezanne heard about what I was doing here in the States, well, we're in London, but in the States, she, asked if we can put a book tour together, would I come? And I was like, absolutely, that's a no-brainer. And so here I am some months later, well, about 10 months later, here I am. So it's a blessing how you can speak things to existence, which you will learn a lot in my book. How many of y'all started reading the book already? I know
On to the, just started the Sexy Queen chapter.
Sixth Queen chapter. Okay.
I've read that.
Just finished reading Natural. Oh yeah. Did you finish the whole book?
No, not that I have
Okay.
time to finish
I was
it.
gonna say.
Tried.
I'll be honest, I only downloaded it yesterday.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Yeah.
You're forgiven. You're forgiven. But everyone here was at the grand opening Sunday, but they was able to purchase the paperback and also have the hardcover. But I didn't bring any of those with me. And yes, this book started off, The Courage to Believe, which is a stage play documentary. Also the name of my nonprofit, The Courage to Believe International, because since the beginning, since the inception of the book, I've always known I wanted to do a nonprofit organization. And so, international, hey, I'm international. It's official. As a matter of fact, last night we was at the Marcus Garvey Library having a youth program. So that event, you know, made it official that Courage to Believe International is really a true entity worldwide, you know. So thank God for that. Thank
How
you.
did that go yesterday?
It was great. It was great. Lovely library. You been there before?
Yeah. I was on my way, like I said, but then there was some, I don't know, there was some, it's like God was saying, go to church, and then there was some big accident, all the buses diverted, and I just thought, you know what, by the time you get there, so then I just got off, then there was no buses going back, so I just walked all the way back to church.
Okay.
And I was just being told to go,
What's your age?
just to go somewhere else, you know? I was listening.
And yeah, this is the guy when God speaks. So that's what happened, and yeah, I really liked it. Then after that event, we went to a restaurant next door.
Oh, the restaurant that's within there.
I don't remember what it's called, but they had a reggae artist performing there. It's pretty good. I think his name is Sabudu or something like that. Took some pictures. He's a local artist here in London, reggae artist, reggae band. It was good. I bought a CD for like $10. I don't have it on me now, but it was pretty good. Now, back to why you was here. So, we're here for the what type of king or queen you are. And before I start that, I want to know what type of queen or king you think, or you know that you are. Because this book is going to tell you, you know, it's going to prove what you already thought or disprove it. Do you think I'm right? Is that assumption correct?
Where are you pointing? It's
On Sunday when we were at the workshop,
Mm-hmm.
and you came and sat at our table, and you talked about being thinking about before she speaks. And after you left, I said, "You're a wise queen." She said, "I'm not sure." I said, "You are." I said,
you know why I wasn't
was
sure?
so,
Because I know that I'm very spiritual.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, being born again for 25 years.
Mm.
And it's not just about going to church for me, it's a communication with God.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of spiritual experiences.
Yeah.
So I know I'm a spiritual woman. I also tend to cook. You know, cooking is not an issue. I've been a single parent for how many years, so I had to cook regardless. So that's a cooking queen. What's the rest?
Yeah. But you know why I still think you're still
No,
wise?
I
Because
know,
that
I know
knowledge is the
majority.
beginning of wisdom,
Yeah.
and just because of the way in which you know, you said
After
you
reading the Wise Queen, yes.
you think before you speak, and all
Yeah.
that. Even when God will give you something, then you will still think
Yeah,
about
I
it.
have
So I
to,
think that's
yeah.
the wisdom's there. And I said to her, "Did you notice that was the quietest I was?"
That ain't
wasn't
you.
me. But you know, it was
Yeah.
it was quite
Automatic,
quite
yeah.
powerful. I was, yeah. So.
So you're going to stick with the wise queen?
No,
No,
I am the Wise
She's
Queen.
the wise
You're the wise
queen.
queen.
I think
Yourself?
I think probably the dominant queen is between, although I haven't finished reading that, or the healthy is between sexy and healthy. And like yourself, I very spiritual as well, born again for the last 10, 12 years, probably longer actually. And I love hosting and I love cooking, and you know, that's something I like the meal to look good as well. I like the presentation. I don't eat black food. I eat good food, as I call it.
You get excited while you prepare.
Yeah, yeah, all that
from the
Hispanic
love energy.
response and everything. You know, I just, I love it, and I do salad master, and I took my titanium cookware to Barbados so I could make the right meals, and I love it.
Oh wow!
I get really, really.
You brought your own cooking utensils to Barbados to make your
so
meals.
that I could make sure that what I put in I got out, and instead of my uncles in Queens and New York, and even though they cook the food, we just kept running down to Whole Foods downtown and spending shed loads of money, but God, the food was so nice. It was just,
I like that. I like that. All right, and yourself, young lady or young man? I know she hasn't read it yet, but
Have you seen the list?
No.
let us see the list. And I know you don't know the list of kings, but if there were a list of kings, what type of king would you say that you are?
It's kind of hard to tell by just looking at the list.
I don't know if I would put myself in any one of these.
One of them has to be more dominant than the other. Of course, every woman, I'm into detail with that, but every woman has, you're all blessed with so many talents, but one of them has to be more dominant than the other ones.
Well, I'd have to know what the definition of these is to be able to say if I'm definitely one of them.
Take a guess.
Maybe somewhere between spiritual, natural, sometimes wise.
Sometimes
Yeah,
wise.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You preach that one.
Yeah. It's something I'd have to reflect on. I'm not one of these people that I think, yeah, definitely that I have to think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand. And since there's in the list for you, any thoughts, comments, concerns?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. But, I don't know how your book for the Kings is gonna be, titled. I would say that my experiences have been led from in the last 20 or so years, have been led from a very spiritual standpoint. But I'm not in the church. I have been. I'm not in the church.
Okay.
And it's something that I consider as being a mode of freedom for me to actually explore this God consciousness, this supreme, in the last several months, to be able to pour libation to Enyame wa Enyame of the Father God. It's been quite liberating, given that back in 1990, when I was in church and things weren't very well, it was, if you're there, you better talk to me because this is all falling apart. And it's almost like that's where the journey started.
Okay.
So I would say spiritual. But I also would say I have this rebellious warrior spirit. Certainly Kwabenafo, being born on a Tuesday, the warrior, Ogun spirit. And those things come into play. So.
All right. Thank you for your input.
When I say I've been born again 25 years, I no longer go to church. So you still consider it spiritual without going to church?
Yeah. Thank you. And my response in that manner is kind of, I recognise there's almost this, I'm sorry for being who I am.
Yeah, but apologetic, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But I find that the Christians who I've come across can be very offended by my standpoint, and I'm just not into offending people unless you push me buttons too hard. Then okay, you want to take the gloves off. I don't want to. But let's take the gloves off. It's not a nice place to be. It's a pointless place to be. But there's only so much prodding that you can take. There's only so much prodding I can take. So that's why I always make a point saying I'm spiritual, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About communication.
Yeah.
And I would say, as a person that still does go to church, but I think the wisest thing that a Christian can do is really, really know they know before they decide to challenge you, because they don't always know everything, and so sometimes we can give a little bit of information, go in, try and force an opinion or a point of view one way, but if you can't actually back it up and explain it, then that's when it becomes confrontational.
And that's the beauty of it. Like you said, you have to know that you know that you know, so that when you are discussing or edifying someone else through conversation, you know, you're not shaking, you're not hesitant, your confidence in your faith. And whether you're Christian, Buddhist, a Nazi, whatever it is, I'm willing to listen to you. You know, as long as you're talking with sense and you're not getting all loud and erratic, you know, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, you know, as long as you want to allow me to speak as well. And we're going to walk away and be respectful towards one another. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be happy. We all want to, well, generally speaking, we all want to have a mate in our lives that we can grow with. And so I know sometimes you have a certain type of faith or belief, and I have one. That's going to cause our worlds to collide, you know. So I have to have that common ground. So I don't know how you all have dealt with that here in the UK, but in the States, like if you're a 7-day Adventist and you don't believe in that, they're not even giving you a chance. It's like, you know, it's like whatever, you know.
No, because one of my best friends is 7-day, and the fiance, we just getting like a house on fire. She just goes on a Saturday, I go on a Sunday. She's invited me to a few things, I've invited her to a few things. But we still hang out and chat nearly every day, so
But that's friends.
at the end of the day,
But
the
when you're not
foundation of it
friends, it's
is
not
the
so
Bible.
easy. When you're not friends, it's not hate handy dandy or whatever. You're always ready to fight and spiritual fight.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Jehovah's Witness, I invite them into a cup of tea.
And is that pleasing to God, fighting?
Exactly.
It's not,
That's
you
the
know. It's about love and giving love and receiving love. That's what life is about. But since we're on that spiritual queen subject here, you know, what did you like about the chapter of Spiritual Queen?
Actually, I didn't. What I did.
Oh, you probably get to that part, yeah.
That higher conscience
Did I read
and that
it?
about the pineal, and I call him my surrogate dad. He does a lot of talking on the pineal gland. He does a lot of talks.
On that subject.
Yeah, around the pineal gland and that higher consciousness, and there was times when I was doing sun gazing. That's really quite, that helps to open up the pineal gland. So I was doing that in the mornings, 15 minutes. It's really quite powerful. You come in, you know.
And if that's the way you choose to connect with God, that's, you know, it's a beautiful thing. You know, Mother Nature. I want you all to write this down for me. Spiritual Queen. We'll have paper if you don't worry about it. How long have you been doing the sun gazing, by the way?
Just over a year.
Over a year?
But I haven't done it for a couple of months actually. I need to get back into it. I do love it.
Okay. Well, Spiritual Queen. This is what Spiritual Queen means to me. And once you read the chapter, you can tell me what you think about it. Spiritual Queen is a woman that understands that her power comes from the Creator. You have to write the whole thing, but that's what it means to me. And that you understand and you have a prayer life and how important it is to pray, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your king, and you speaking those things into existence. That's what a prayer queen, well, spiritual queen does. You know, she has a prayer life. One of the stories in that chapter, I talk about Joel Osteen's mom. I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah.
But I remember when she was fighting cancer. Do you know that story, when she was fighting cancer and what she did?
When she spoke into her, that was really, that bit you wrote there about Joel Osteen's mom was really powerful.
Right. And what she did was, when she found out she had cancer, she didn't necessarily receive that message from the doctor. So she went home and took all the positive pictures that she had about herself when she was at a healthier state, and she put them all over the house, on the mirrors, on the walls. So every time when she look up somewhere, she see a picture of herself or her and her husband, her children at a happier state. Right, because she understood that, you know, this is a battle that's going to take a lot more than just praying. You're going to have to really, call upon God. Right, spiritual warfare. Because once, you know, in the States, the doctors, they want you to, they understand that once you believe you're sick, once that you know that you're sick, you're going to keep dwelling upon it. In your brain, you have, how you doing? You have over 200 billion brain cells, right? Each one of them can be measured, and you can literally think about things, and you create your immediate environment. So once you believe and receive that you're sick, now you're going to act, walk, and talk, and think as a sick person. Now, you're just not sick, with your body. Now you're sick mentally. Correct. So it's very important to put, and I told someone to do the same thing. So I'm not going to have a spiritual king chapter and 7 types of kings, Queen Desire, because what I do is, for instance, when I talk about my book, the first book, Courage to Believe, for me to get my college degree, it was such a challenge. When you graduate college, any of you got a college degree in here? Everyone, wow. See, you can't do that in the States and think everybody will raise their hands got a college degree. Can't assume that. You say you don't? Okay, well, majority
Well,
of them
over
do.
here, when we talk about degree, we talk about university.
University,
Yeah.
correct.
The college over here is like a further education than high school.
Okay, well, I accept that as well.
Diploma, but not a degree.
But you're still smart and intelligent. You have your own business. You've written, what, a couple of books? Yeah, she's a multi-millionaire. She's not even telling you all that.
And what?
Lincoln, huh? Oh, I didn't have diploma in business studies.
Now, the reason why I brought that up was because the things I had to go through to walk across that stage. And before my mom passed, it was very important to me that she seen me graduate college. She had 5 kids, and none of us graduated college, and I'm the first and only one thus far. Hopefully, the rest, do get the degrees. But I wanted her to see that. Now, she died of cancer. She had a cancer in her spine. Rest in peace. And I didn't know she had cancer at the time. She didn't even know. This was after I graduated that we found out. And so the fact that she was able to see that, and everything I went through to get that degree, dealing with the police, I had a warrant at the time, not just because of me, but my association with people. It wasn't easy. It was really a fight. It's really a fight, and I can go more in detail about that. So now, when I have that diploma up, and I look at it to remind me of a victory, and that's what Joel Osteen's mom was doing. She was reminding herself of her past victories and of good times. And in life can be so challenging sometimes, and so many negative things. As a matter of fact, something crazy just happened in the U.S. in Nevada. I don't know if you all seen the news. I don't even watch the news.
No.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't watched the news since I was 21. I'm 37 now. But the world can, inundate you with so much negativity that you receive it. It gets into your brain. I call it in my book, your brain is like a supercomputer. So you have to be careful what you download upon yourself.
That's right.
So I watch more spiritual things on television. I go to positive places. I don't go to church as much anymore, but I still have a prayer life for God. I still have a prayer life, period. And I say that because being a spiritual person, you have to understand that everything happens in the spiritual realm before it happens in the physical. And so whenever you have a challenge in life, you have to combat that with some positive things. So hang up pictures, listen to good music, find a prayer partner. And I know as the spiritual queen that you are, that you may want a man that has a prayer life as well. Can you imagine how powerful that is?
No, I know.
You don't know, or
No,
you
so
trying
I
to
know,
imagine?
I do know how powerful it is. So yesterday I was with my client. She had a hysterectomy at 69 and she's 71, and from the day after she had that hysterectomy, she used to volunteer for the Red Cross and Age UK massage, and she retrained herself at 55 so she could look after people older than herself. She was invited to Buckingham Palace twice to have tea with the Queen. But from the day after the operation, she didn't do any of that work. She could barely walk half the time.
Wow.
She used to make love to her husband. So we've been working together for the last 4 or 5 months. But she could. But when women get older and get to in their 70s, it's very easy for them to get urinary tract infections, and then that actually debilitates them, stops them from moving or walking. So yesterday when I saw her, she was saying, I have this pain, and I told her exactly about Joel Osteen's mum, and I told her what to do. Yeah, okay. I talked about it yesterday, and I said to her, you need to stop saying you have this. That's one, don't claim it. So your language needs to change.
That's right.
You need to speak what you want. You need to speak as though it's here, not when you have. And you need to, I said as well, take your uniforms back out, put your stuff back out, put the pictures of you having Queen, tea at Buckingham Palace, bring them back out again, and put them back, because that's your life, and that is the life you have, and you need to go back to it. But I referred to that chapter yesterday and said to her, this is what's in this book. I had the book on me yesterday, so I showed her. And I said to her, you need to do the same. You need to put it all over the house, put out your uniforms if you're getting ready for work tomorrow, and speak it into your life. And that's even part of
Right.
my role still is actually getting women to, you know, do that positive affirmation. But when they're in that point there where they're struggling and they're in so much pain, it envelopes them, so they just can't see a way out. But if they can't see that way out, they stay stuck there, because I say to them, as long as you say it. So if I go for a run and I get tired and I say I'm tired, my brain instantly tells my legs that it's tired, and it becomes 10 times
Everything's
harder.
tired. Right.
Unless I say, come on Russell, and run through it, then you have that energy, you know, that can just take you where you need to be.
Amen. That's good. Well, I'm glad you was able to use that as an example, you know, and I wish her well.
So we're making some, in the last 5 months we've made some real good progress, you know, so. But it's just when you get, what I said to us, journal it as well, because when you have, this is obviously taken her back, so then you forget about the progress you've made, because all you can do is focus on the now and the pain. But if you start to journal it, I said 1 week it might be 4 days of pain and 3 days good. 3 weeks time it might be 5 days of good and 2 days of pain.